Hey, what's up, guys? We're back. We got a recap now for you of the Tuesday night games. There were a lot of games, a lot of high-profile games. You had the number one overall team in action. That was one that we talked about a lot in our bracketology video about a game that we were looking forward to. We were wrong on that one. We'll accept that one. And then there were some other games there. We saw two top 25 teams upset. So there's a lot to talk about, but we'll go start with the elephant in the room. Start with the game that we predicted. We both predicted an upset. We saw Alabama. We thought Alabama's going to go into Auburn and they're going to upset the number one overall seed Tigers, and they didn't.
No, we knew it was going to be a tall task for Alabama to do that because Auburn, like, it's a small, like, intimate arena, but they've been packing that thing. It's been super loud, so we knew that was going to be tough. They made a couple runs where I thought, okay, they're actually we were starting to get really hyped, especially in the second half. They got it run, they get it to 4, like Shaka for its hitting threes, Quinterly's making plays, and I'm like, okay, this is the Alabama team we want to see because we wanted to see the upset yesterday. It's always fun to see the number one team go down. And but it didn't happen. Like, Alabama at times struggles on defense, but I think it was more like a testament to how good Auburn is this year. They have so many guys that can score the ball.
Yeah, you look at Auburn's scores here, you see 14 points from Kessler, 17 from Smith, 10 from Flanagan, 13 from Johnson. Then you go on to the bench and you see 23 points from Green, all around just scoring for Auburn. It's that depth is going to be what helps them, propels them to, if they make a run, that'll be the difference maker. They are a good team. They have depth, and they're definitely not something to mess around with. In our last video, we talked about how maybe Auburn is one of the least definitive number ones you've seen in a long time. There's a lot of people that debate about that and their strength and how good they are. I think last night, although Alabama's not ranked, Alabama has beat some good teams. They've shown the ability to beat good teams, and Auburn went and they showed up and they beat Alabama. Auburn showed some guts. As we mentioned, Alabama made a run in the second half. They got it down to 4. They were battling. They were in that game, and it would have been easy for Auburn to kind of start to cave as it kept going, but they answered back, they punched back, and ultimately they came through. They're a good team. We'll say it again. And
that's something I really, Auburn this whole year, every time I feel like a team is starting to, like, the team will be right there. They're only down by 5. They're down by 4. They pull away, like, all the time. Like, every time I've seen them, they don't even, like, the Missouri game was like an exception. That was a terrible game when they were at Missouri and only beat them by 1. But in general, like, they have so many guys. I think it wears other teams down because, like, he went through, like, they had like 7 guys or 6 guys, I think, in double figures, which most teams can't do that, and they can do that quite often. And so I think that's the difference between Auburn and a lot of other teams.
So next up for Auburn will be Georgia on Saturday. We'll see what kind of challenge the Bulldogs present to the Tigers. Georgia did beat Alabama a couple weeks ago. We'll see.
Yeah, they're a pretty poor team. I'm thinking that'll probably.
We'll see. We'll see the game that comes out, but that's what's next for the number one overall seed. On the flip side, we'll talk about Alabama, the team we talked about. We hyped them up, but we also mentioned how streaky they are. You never know what Alabama you're going to get on any given night, and they had spurts in the game where they looked good and they were in it, and then but in the end they got overpowered by Auburn, and Alabama put up 81 points. That's, for a college basketball game, that's good, but they gave up 100, and their defense is the question. And we'll see where the Tide go from here. I think they're still going to make the tournament. They're going to find a way in. I think they're still a team that could do some damage come March. I think I'll say it again, they're streaky, but if they get hot at the right time and they hit their shots, they can go. They could make a little bit of a run, so we'll see.
Yeah, definitely their final four caliber team, or a team that could lose in the first round for sure.
We'll see what we get out of them. Another massive game last night was Kansas and Iowa State. Kansas without Ochai Agbaji due to COVID protocol, but that did not matter for the Jayhawks. They were able to find a way to walk into Ames and get a win by a score of 70-61. Kansas found scoring. They found some balanced scoring. They got 13 from Wilson, 14 from McCormick, 14 from Harris, 13 from Brown. They got the scoring that they needed, and they fought their way through. They missed their key player, and they went on the road in the Big 12 and won a game, which is not an easy task. Iowa State is not a pushover team, and the Jayhawks found a way to win. I think that is going to serve them well as the season goes on. This time where they don't have Agbaji, it's time for other players to step up. I think that's been something that can be debated throughout their roster, is who's going to step up on any given night besides Agbaji. And tonight, or last night, you saw a player step up and help out the Jayhawks.
Yeah, I thought Jalen Coleman-Lands was like really huge in that game. He's only played 18 minutes in the past 3 games before last night, and he was playing against his old team. He got the start, and he came in. He hit like 2 threes early, and in the 2 threes early, it just kind of set the tone. It set the tone for Kansas, and then I think you then with guys like Christian Brown, he's had a great season. Kind of been second fiddle to Agbaji. I think he played really well. I think it's just really impressive, and Will kind of alluded to it. Them being able to play without Agbaji is going to help so much for when he's back, because these guys they know how to do it. And so that Kansas win was big. Iowa State's a really good team this year. They've turned it around big from last year's 2-22 season. I mean, it's almost a completely new team. But yeah, last night was a great win for Kansas, and it was fun to watch.
You saw a guy for Kansas in Joseph Yesufu step in. He played 23 minutes last night. He's a guy who played a big role at Drake last year and transferred to Kansas. There was questions of what kind of room is there in the backcourt at Kansas. You have DeJuan Harris, you have Remy Martin, and then as it goes on, what kind of how much, and then the signing of Pettiford as well, coming in as a freshman. The question of what kind of time would there be for Yesufu? And throughout the season, he hasn't gotten a lot of time, but last night he stepped up. He put in 23 minutes, scored 7 points for the Jayhawks, 4 assists. Those are minutes that are valuable. I think as the season goes on, it's going to be good for Yesufu to get some of those minutes, because March, your depth can be tested, and he's a guy that has shown an ability to step up in March. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, guys you wouldn't normally expect that don't even play that much for Kansas stepped up yesterday, which was really good to see. And it gives me confidence in them as time goes on.
On the flip side, you see Iowa State. The Brockington was their man again. He scored 24 points. He was one of only 3 guys in double figures for the Cyclones. You had Kalsher getting 11, and you had Jackson getting 12. Everyone else is single digits. The question of where does the scoring come from for Iowa State? It was, I think this was a chance for Iowa State to go in there and get a big win at home against a Kansas team that's missing their best player. Big resume game for them. You need to hold serve at home in the Big 12, and Iowa State wasn't able to last night. I don't know what kind of hit they will take in the rankings. It's going to depend on how the rest of the week goes to see how far and if they fall out of the rankings. But Iowa State missed a chance last night to get a resume win, but we'll see how that goes for the Cyclones after.
Yeah, Iowa State. I think Iowa State's a good team still. I don't think this one will hurt them too much. I think they should stay where they are, or stay mostly in the rankings, and their seed line should stay the same too, because they are a good team.
So we'll see what happens to the number 20 Cyclones. I don't think much will happen to Kansas right now. They'll stay around that number 10 line unless they get some help in front of them, but we'll see. We'll move on here, and we will go to the Michigan State Spartans defeating Maryland. We're going to do a quick hit with these games now and try and speed things up. Michigan State We talked about it yesterday. We don't love them. We gave a little bit of a recap and talked about this game a little bit as we were filming the bracketology, but beating Maryland by 2. Maryland's a tough team. They hang around. Sparty won in there. They beat Maryland at Maryland. Any quick thoughts here, Zach, on that game?
Yeah, Maryland is a team like they're near the bottom of the Big Ten, but most Big Ten teams, Maryland gives a good fight against almost any team right now. I think they're maybe 3-8 in the Big Ten right now or something. They're near the bottom, but I've seen them give Illinois issues. They gave Michigan State issues here. This Michigan State team, I'm not super sold on them yet, like Will was saying, but the takeaway here, it was on the road. So it is a pretty good win for Michigan State to get that win. Even though it was only by 2 to a team that some people look at as not that good, I think Maryland's better than people give them credit for. And so I like that Michigan State win, and that's going to help them. It keeps them tied for first in the Big Ten.
There we go. Another big game we saw was the Texas Tech Red Raiders and the Texas Longhorns. This was Chris Beard's return to Lubbock, and the Red Raiders came out victorious 77-64. We talked about the reception that Chris Beard got last night. We'll talk about it for a quick minute to get here again. It was hostile walking into that building for Chris Beard, a man who dedicated a lot to the Texas Tech program and then walked away this offseason to go to the in-state rival. But it's the old team that gets the win here at home. I think we spoke highly of Tech. They're a good team. They can defend. They play well. And we'll see how far they go in March. But that was a great win for Tech last night. As far as Texas, it's a good team on the road. We'll see where Texas goes from here. I think we'll see what happens with rankings below them and ahead of them to see where it takes them. They might fall out of the rankings at number 23 currently. They might fall out of the top 25. We'll see. It doesn't hurt Texas too much in the long run, though.
No, this game actually, it furthers my confidence in Tech because to me, this is a top 7-8 team in the country, and at home, Tech is tough to beat right now. And so Tech, they kind of handled business like I thought they would, and they proved that they might be the best team in Texas right now. Baylor's there as well, but Texas Tech might be the best team. They're so long, athletic. They got guys that can defend at any position on the court, and I think that's what really helped them beat Texas. And it was good to see, and it furthers my confidence. And Texas Tech's really looking like a Final Four team again this year.
There you go. We'll move on quickly here. Providence Friars beat St. John's last night by 4. Good win for Providence. They get a win, go there on the road. We'll jump to the Volunteers of Tennessee beating Texas A&M as well. There's a win at home for Tennessee.
Another loss for A&M, so that's going to keep sliding them off the bubble more and more. They were on the bubble there for a couple of weeks, and now I don't. It's going to take a lot of wins for A&M to get back into the tournament conversation.
There we go, and we'll close out last night's slate by talking about the Ole Miss Rebels beating LSU. Zach, we only got a quick minute here, but give me your quick thoughts on that game. What it means.
Yeah, LSU is a team I'm not, haven't been high on, and we talked about it before. But LSU, they play good defense. They had a cupcake schedule coming in, but I think yesterday proved that LSU is not a great team, and because Ole Miss is not a great basketball team, but they're okay. But they went on the road to Baton Rouge, beat LSU on their home court, and it's just LSU's not looking great right now, and it's gonna be tough for me to pick them going far at all in March. But a good win for my Rebels.
Awesome. All right, that's last night. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of tonight's schedule for Wednesday, February 2nd. I'm going to run through these here, and then I'm going to ask Zach to give me one game that stands out to him and give me a quick preview of it. We got the number 4 seeded Purdue Boilermakers on the road in Minnesota to take on the Golden Gophers. The Kentucky Wildcats hosting Vanderbilt. This is a chance for Kentucky to rebound and show off again after their game on Saturday where they handled Kansas fairly easily. So we'll see how they look there. You got the Xavier Musketeers taking on the Butler Bulldogs, number 21 there in Xavier. You got the number 6 Houston Wildcats taking on Tulane. And then you got the number 18 Illini taking on the number 11 Wisconsin Badgers. One of the favorites for National Player of the Year there in Johnny Davis. We'll see how they look. And then you got Villanova taking on Marquette, another ranked matchup there with 12 versus 24. Zach, what is one game that stands out to you and you're looking forward to?
I think the game, me being an Illinois fan, I think even for, anyone in the country to watch this game tonight would be huge. Anyone that's interested in Big Ten basketball, because these are the top 2 teams, as well as Michigan State. So this is 2 of the top 3 teams in the Big Ten battling at it tonight at Illinois. You're talking about, you get to see Johnny Davis. You got National Player of the Year candidate, Johnny Davis. You got Kofi Coburn for Illinois, National Player of the Year. So you got 2 National Player of the Years tonight going at it. And I think I like Illinois' chances. I think they're a 7-point favorite right now at home. So, but I think this game is going to go right down to the wire. I think this game's going to be really close. It's going to this game will help us see who can kind of get a slight edge in the Big Ten race. So it's the game I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah, that'll be a great game. The other, as I mentioned, the other ranked matchup, you see the number 12 Villanova Wildcats going on the road to Marquette, taking on the Eagles there. And it's Villanova on the road is a 5-point favorite right now. We'll see how that game turns out. We'll see what Nova looks like. There's some great games tonight. We're going to see how it turns out. And there's going to be lots to talk about. We're going to start recording after this. We got a video coming out on the Wooden Award favorites, our picks for Wooden Award, what's going to happen with that. Check that out. Come back later this week. We're going to have a preview of the weekend. Lots of big matchups coming up. And we're going to have a recap of these games tonight, as well as games on Thursday and anything that happens on Friday that stands out to us. Well, this is a busy time for college basketball, and we're thankful you guys came and joined us. Comment, let us know what your thoughts are, what you realized, what you learned last night watching those games that we went over, any other games that stood out to you, and let us know. We want to hear from you guys. We want questions and share your thoughts. So
I see you guys in the next one.
All right, take care.